Hello to all my story lovers. Welcome back in Storytime channel. I'm Pallavi reading story for you. Now, before go to the story, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Now, the story name is The Price of Shadow by Sarla Bhatia and S.K. Bhatia. Bhimgaon, a village of about 200 inhabitants, lies on a parched land nearly 60 kilometers from Jhansi. Small hillocks abound all around, for almost 25 acres surrounding the village well. There is hardly a piece of green grass. There is only one peepal tree in the entire village, but no one dares to go near it. Madho, the village Baniya, declares it as his property because the tree stands next to the wall of his house. Junia, the dhobi, happened to deliver the Madho's family weekly washing. It was noon and the sun was at its peak. Bundelkhand's heat has no parallels. Even Junia's donkey lay sprawled in the niggardly shadow of the peepal tree when he came out of the house with the Baniya family's dirty clothes. Junia too opened out one sheet and lay down. Soon he was snoring. The heat in the open was extremely punishing. Ah, you there? Who allow you to make this your place rest? Madhav shouted at the sleeping Junia. The washerman was rudely awakened and took a few minutes to collect himself. Pardon me, sir, I just doze off. It's too hot in the sun, he urged. This land does not belong to you. This tree is mine. The whole village knows it. I cannot stand any trespasser in front of my house. The Baniya was stern and forthright. Malik, master, I came to deliver your wash clothes. My father also worked for your household for 25 years. After all, I do have a right to rest in the shadow for a while. This act of mine does no harm to you, Junia pleaded meekly. The Baniya stiffened. He thought to himself, does this fellow have a right? If I accept it today, he may on another day ask to sleep in our courtyard. I cannot allow this liberty. He came out. No, you have no right to rest even for a minute under the shadow. Nothing comes for free in this world, my dear. Do you want money even for the shadow? Asked Junia. Why not? Responded Madho curtly. All right, quote your price, the dhobi demanded. Rupees 10 for the shadow, the Baniya answered. I will be ruined, master. Be reasonable, appealed Junia. Not a pie less. I can pay you rupees 2. All right, let us compromise at rupees 5. But you must sign a pledge tomorrow in the presence of Sarpanch, and now do not waste my time in fruitless conversation, Madho Baniya declared. You have left me no choice, Malik. I will be there right this time tomorrow, agreed the helpless washerman. He departed rather depressed, his donkey towing behind him. Madhu was extremely pleased with himself. The rupees 5 would buy him more than 10 acres. After all, what worth was this shadow, which neither he nor any of his family members ever utilized? There was a jubilation in the Baniya's household. Junia was no fool. He certainly had a plan up his sleeve. He wanted to teach Madho the lesson of his lifetime, containing his feelings. He reached home and told his wife, Rangi, give me your ornaments. Rangi was struck dumb. Then she composed herself and asked, Whatever for? I want to mortgage them and buy the shadow of Peepal tree in front of the Madhav's Banya's house, said her husband. His wife could not believe her ears. For a while she thought her husband had lost his mind. Did you say you are buying a shadow? Can you hold it as a property? My dear, a shadow is not an asset. Our money will be lost forever because this shadow cannot be resold. Rangi explained all aspects of this strange bargain to her husband and tried to desist him from his thoughtless plan. But Junia was adamant. Rangi tried once again. With the same money, we can buy big piece of land, cultivate profitable crops, and be rich one day, she said. Look, Rangi, Junior raised his voice. I know my oats. First, I am a washerman and I cannot become a good farmer overnight. Second, farming is risky game in these arid lands. And finally, it will take me 10 years to earn as much by tilling the land as I hope to earn through the shadow in 6 months. Will you bring back my ornaments? Rangi asked, knowing that her husband was not going to change his mind. I swear, I will return every piece of your jewelry with a bonus of silver necklace. Thus assuring his wife of his good intention, Junia collected a bag full of ornaments that were mortgaged for rupees 7 with the village goldsmith. As pre-arranged, he arrived at Madho's peepal tree at the appointed hour. Madho had arranged the Sarpanch to be available to secure the deal. The sale deed read, Madho Ram S.O. Sadho Ram sells the shadow underneath the peepal tree to Junia for his free use in due of rupees 5. If either party fails to implement his part of agreement, then the defaulting party shall pay fine of rupees 10 to the other party. Madho signed on the sale deed, while Junior affixed his left thumb impression. The Sarpanch verified and guaranteed the deal on behalf of all the villagers, nearly 20 of whom had collected there out of curiosity. They were unanimous in their opinion. The cell of shadow is never heard of before, and Madho is too clever to be fooled. Poor Junia. It had become routine for Junia to sleep in the shade on the charpoy from afternoon till evening. The donkey was tied to the charpoy. For the Bania family, it was rather disturbing when the animal brayed, at times incessantly, without rhyme or reason. The two gentlemen exchanged greetings as usual and sometimes chatted for a while, exchanging views of Bhimgav's households to stay updated of births, dates, and weddings. Madhav sensed something strange happening, but initially failed to pinpoint it. When he could not restrain himself any longer, he said, Junia, I see you and your donkey resting next to the boundary wall of my house. First, you were confining yourself underneath the tree only. Are you planning to occupy my house shortly? No, master. I shall stay with my rights. That is, underneath the shadow only. As the sun goes westward, the shadow moves eastwards towards your house. I will never move beyond the shadow, for which, as you know, I have paid you handsomely. The Bania, though enraged, had no logic to rebut the washerman's argument. I am not sure of my legal rights yet. Giving due regard to our long association, I will forego any claim to the shadow falling within the boundary of your house. You can believe me that I have no ulterior motive, was Junia's reply. Madhav could not be sure of the Dhobi's motives, but had to be contained for a time being. However, some uneasiness was beginning to rise within his stomach. Since nothing more or different happened for a few weeks, the rich man cooled off. Then Junior disappeared suddenly. Madhav was surprised, but had no clue of the Dhobis' whereabouts for many days. Had he adversely been kidnapped by decades? Good riddance. If that be so, thought Madhav, though outwardly he expressed his concern for Junia to Rangi and the other village folk. The fateful day came sooner than expected. The Bania, returning home after closing his shop, saw more than a few dozen villagers collected beside his house. As he came nearer, he saw Junia on charpai surrounded by a few dozen sheep, two dogs, and two buffaloes. The donkey was there too. What is this game, Junia? Asked an angry Madhu. My cattle, sir. We will henceforth stay under the people's shadow. How can you have them on my land? I only sold the shadow. True, master. You can take away your land elsewhere. I will retain the shadow only. Madhav was stum for words. The villagers hissed and giggled at the Bania, who always professed to be the cleverest of them all. Not to be beaten, Madhav blurted. Junia, you can take away your shadow somewhere else. Think again, master, for I will then take away the people tree because the shadow is inseparable from it. Madhav went and consulted his family and friend. How could he allow Junior to remove the scared tree planted by his ancestor? There was no choice but to pay off the fine rupees 10. Junior earned his money and departed by saying, Madhav master, this shadow is God's gift. It is priceless. Let us all share it. Junia gave Rangi all that he had promised her. Their house glowed with the 100 diyas that evening. Now, this is the end of the story. Do you like it? Then comment it. Subscribe my channel. Bye bye.